Levels and factors of production.
Don't tell me you are here already.
The early bird catches the worm.
Well, there's no worm to catch here, just stories to listen to.
Beautiful stories that are really beneficial to me. You have no idea how much my grades are improving.
Really? That is so good to hear.
Since we started talking about business studies, I am top of my class in the subject.
Congratulations. Then I must continue the good work that I'm doing.
By all means, yes.
Well, now that you already know what production is, we can go ahead and examine the different levels of production. These are primary, secondary, and tertiary levels.
I am listening.
Interestingly, in each level of production, we have a corresponding occupation for it.
Interesting indeed. Tell me about the manko.
The primary level is the initial stage of production. Here, goods are extracted from their natural state.
So if I did some farming, that would be my primary level of production?
Indeed, most goods extracted here become raw materials which can be used for further production.
From our previous discussions,
Yes.
I know that other activities that fall in this category include mining, lumbering, fishing, and quarrying.
Good work! The activities you have described above are also the occupations associated with that level of production.
Understood.
The second stage of production has the raw materials which were produced in the initial stage being changed into final products.
So if the trees that are cut down are made into building timber, that is secondary production.
Yes, here the activities taking place tend to process the raw material.
And in the process, they change the form of the good. Like maize becomes maize flour.
Correct. This adds more utility to the product. Advanced machines and technology are used to achieve this. Any occupation you can think of in this case?
Processing?
Yes, but I already mentioned that. Any other?
Sorry, no idea.
Don't you worry. We have manufacturing and construction.
Oh, how could I forget about manufacturing?
Don't worry. You will have better luck next time. Finally, we have tertiary level of production.
The third stage of production.
Yes, where the value and utility of a commodity are greatly added.
For example,
For example, packaging a product, branding it, and even transporting it to where it can easily be found.
I see.
Now, these activities are further grouped into two: direct services and commercial services.
Please explain the two.
Direct services are those that an individual offers directly to a consumer.
In other words, what you are doing right now, teaching me, is a direct service?
Yes, medical care, teaching, hairdressing are good examples of direct services.
And the commercial services?
Commercial services enable trade to take place and consist of movement, storage, and distribution of goods. Which kinds of utility can one derive from this explanation?
Place utility, because of the movement from place to place, and time utility, because there is a time frame between production and consumption.
Brilliant! No wonder you are top of your class. The occupations here include wholesaling, retailing, transport, marketing, warehousing, and banking.
I was going to mention them if you had given me the chance.
It's okay. Next time I will ask you to try them first. Now, for production to take place, there has to be some resources that are used to make this possible.
Of course, like human resource. If we don't have people working in the production process, everything will get stuck.
Including machines, because they need humans to operate. So, these resources are commonly referred to as factors of production, and there are 4 in number. That is land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last one. I might end up swallowing my tongue.
Don't you worry. By the time you're done discussing it, you shall have said it enough times to make it stick.
Sounds better.
Now, these factors must be well coordinated and well planned for them to bear fruits. And each factor of production has a reward.
Makes sense. Let's talk about land.
When we talk about land as a factor of production, we're not talking about just land.
What do you mean?
I mean, we are not only talking about that asset which we can till and plant crops or build a house in.
So, what exactly are we talking about? Because that is the only definition of land that I know.
Well, to add to that, here we are also talking about all resources which are provided by nature.
All natural resources? Does that mean that lakes, oceans, seas, as well as plants fall here?
That is my point exactly.
Wow.
It's a very essential factor of production because of the many things that can be done with it.
Yes.
As a factor of production, land is fixed.
Excuse me, what?
Well, what I mean to say is that land cannot be expanded. If you had a quarter acre of land today, 10 years from now, it will still be a quarter acre.
Now I get it.
However, there are ways in which we can improve the productivity of land.
How?
Well, we can add manure to it. We can irrigate it in case it is too dry. And as for forest, we can plant more trees in case they are depleted.
There are so many ways of improving land after
Yes,
all.
there are.
You said that these factors of production have rewards. What is the reward for land?
I'm glad you asked. It means that you are very, very attentive. The reward for land is rent.
Noted.
Can I now tell you some characteristics that land possesses as a factor of production?
I can think of some of them myself since now I know what land is.
Great, go ahead.
Since all natural resources fall here, no production can take place without land.
Land is basic factor of production because otherwise there will be no raw material for further production.
You also explained that it is a fixed factor of production.
True again, land cannot be expanded.
Land cannot move from one place to another either, but its productivity can be increased through irrigation and fertilizers.
Good.
I'm not done yet.
I'm not stopping you either.
Land is a natural resource because it is provided by nature. Now I am done.
Great. I only have a few points to add. The quality of land differs from one place to another, especially in terms of fertility.
My geography teacher taught us that highlands receive a lot of rainfalls, hence are more productive than any other place in the country.
True, the drier parts of the country such as northern Kenya receive very minimal rainfall. Therefore, land is not so productive. Luckily, the land can be used flexibly.
How?
I can use my land to rear animals, or I can plant crops in it, or better still, build a house. That is the kind of flexibility that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Lastly, the productivity of land decreases with its use.
The more it is used, the lesser it produces.
Correct. Now I have to milk the cows, but we can continue afterwards.
Can I help you do that, please?
Nope. I don't want my favorite niece in a hospital bed because she was kicked by a cow.
All right, I will just watch.
Sounds better.